Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I really enjoyed mapping out some of my ideas for November of 2024 and sharing the experience with my viewers on which pens to select. So I figured I'd give it a shot in December as well. I also really loved how this visually came out. And I found that I kept coming back and looking at it and really took it as an opportunity to really consider the choices that I had. So, like I said, I'm going to do that again. Still working on kind of my spacing because it's not a perfect fit. For example, I should have had this column a little bit narrower and this one a little bit wider, but I'm just pointing out my own flaws. So without further ado, I do have my Inkapet here because some of these are samples, some of them are bottles. Of the 15 that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bottles and 4 samples. All right, so the first one is a collaboration between Robert Oster and Van Ness. This is called Hemp, and this is a sample that was passed along to me by Zen of the Pen, and I just want to look at how I had it set up. Okay, so I just did a little swatch and the name. This is a month that I'm going to have a lot of jewel tones, and because of that, and a lot of shimmers. So because of that, I have 2 jars of water because the saturation is going to make the water real murky real quick. So let's see if I can figure out my spacing. I'm going to do RO. And oh gosh, that is very lubricated. Wonderful start. I think this is user error somehow that I'm having such a hard time writing. Okay. So I did organize these a little bit in an order that seemed to make the most sense. The next one is a bottle from Inkvent 2021. It's called Winter Spice, and this is a shimmer and a sheen ink. I do really like this color. Obviously, I really like all these colors because I picked them out. All right. See how saturated this is? It almost looks black. But when it dries, it has kind of a brown base with some green sheen. So I put it up in this top row with the greens because that's where it seemed to make sense for me. Now this next one, also from Diamine Inkvent 2021, called Stargazer. It is as well a shimmer and a sheen. This one I had a little bit of a hard time placing in terms of the order, but I think I found a spot that seemed to make the most sense based on the sheen of this ink. Also a very saturated and dark ink. And I already have ink all over my fingers. Actually, it's not that bad. I thought it looked worse. Okay, not a problem. All right, next up, I'm going to move into some blues, and we're going to stay there for a bit. So the first one is Pelikan Edelstein Golden Lapis. I just did a swatch video. This is a bottle that I received for attending the Pelikan Hub in the Boston area. It was in Cambridge. Trying to find that sweet spot. There we go. Oh, you know what it is? It's the under part that I have. It's a pencil board as opposed to the paper guide that I typically use, because quite frankly, I couldn't find the paper guide while I was getting set up for this. But that hard surface underneath makes it hard for, in my experience, the Kakimori nib to really grasp and write well. But I wanted the guide for spacing so that it looks pretty. Okay, next up is Diamine Ink Vent, also 2021 Storm. So a lot of my inks for this month will come from the 2021 Ink Vent, because that's the only one that I have done. But a lot of those inks are more saturated, more gemstone, and this is the time of year that I really like to use them. So this is a lovely dark, dark blue. I actually used this ink, or got this ink, for doing some work on signage and invitations for my friend's wedding. And next one is a Ferris wheel press, also a shimmer ink. So many shimmers. Let's move this. Now this one, as it dries, you will see that it has a red shimmer to it. All right, and I'm going to remove that pencil board because it is robbing me of joy. This one has a little bit of a grayness to it. All right, so this next row, I have another ink sample that I received in a swap with Zen of the Pen. I have a couple from him in this one. Trying to position my hand in a way That makes it less likely it will get all inky. There we go. And just to show, we're halfway through and look how dark that water is. So then I have this secondary glass that is just getting the residual off. And then I have a nice clean nib. All right, this next one is a recent sample that was gifted to me from my neighbor. And it's such a perfect time to be gifted this because this would be the month that I would 100% pull this ink out and use it. Might as well just learn to be okay with Inky Fingers now at this part of the video. Okay. Next one is Diamine Ink Vent. This is not a shimmer. Oh, this is a sheen. This is Season's Greetings. And if I remember correctly, this is from the 2019 Diamine Ink Vent because they didn't do a 2020. It was the blue edition. Oh no. Oops. Well, it's a good thing. I brought a third glass of water because I just used my secondary one to clean. At least I come prepared. All right, next one is Birmingham Pen Company Tesla Coil. And I realized I have chosen Diamine Polar Glow the last few years. And then this year, because I have Tesla Coil, that wasn't even on the list. Oh, spoiler alert, no Polar Glow. All right, we'll cap that. This is a very big bottle with a dropper fill. And this is my last sample, and it's also from Zen of the Pen. This is Colorverse 2024 Blue Dragon. This is, I think it's their ink of the year. I think that's what they call it. And this one has gold shimmer. All right, and next is Garland. This one has a shimmer and a sheen. I believe this is from the 2021 Diamine ink vent, and I loved this color so much that I got a full bottle of it. And then they give you such a big bottle with the ink vent bottles. It's 50 mils of ink. And I don't know the price point off the top of my head, but it's not that expensive. There we go. Right, so we are, I might have just bumped that camera. So we're getting into the last row. So this next one is the 25th day of the 2021 Diamine ink vent, All the Best. And this is a shimmer. It doesn't say, I think it's just shimmer. This might have a sheen as well. I think my son is about to wake up or is in the process of waking up because I hear my dog. There's this whole routine where the dog goes a little nuts. So the next one is Noel, which is a sheen ink. I think this also was from the blue edition of the ink vent calendar. Yeah, so my dog has this routine where she goes a little nutty when my son wakes up. We call it the greeting crew. Diamine, Noel. And last but certainly not least is another from the 2021 Diamine ink vent calendar, Vintage Copper, and this is a shimmer ink. I did caveat that there would be a lot of Diamine ink vent inks. All right, and Vintage. Copper. All right, so let's cap this and we'll get this in frame, maybe zoomed out just a tad. There we go. So here are the choices for December of 2024. Feel free to let me know what your top 5 are and what you would ink up, and I will be using that as inspiration for choosing my inks for December. So I've got Robert Oster and Van Ness hemp, which is kind of a basic green, but when I think of Christmas, I think of green and red, or I guess I should say when I think of December, I think of green and red because of Christmas. Winter Spice, I hope the camera can pick it up, but with the sheen, it looks green with blue shimmer. And then Stargazer is this really nice, it's coming off with a lot of really deep red sheen with some blue shimmer, and it looks like a navy. Then we've got Pelikan Edelstein Blue Lapis, which is kind of a basic middle blue with some gold shimmer. Diamine Storm, a lovely navy with gold shimmer, maybe champagne colored shimmer compared to Lapis, Blue Lapis. Ferris Wheel Press Stroke of Midnight, a slightly less dark navy blue than Storm, and the shimmer's a fairly similar color. Diamine Holly, a lovely, I think teal color with red sheen. Jacques Herbin 1670 Emerald of Chivor. It's slightly more blue leaning and it has shimmer and red sheen. And Diamine Season's Greetings, which is kind of in between Holly and Emerald of Chivor in terms of that green-blue balance with the red sheen. Birmingham Pen Company, Tesla Coil. Look at all of that sheen. And it is still wet, but look at all that sheen in the writing. So it's a really nice blue. It's almost like a Konpeki blue base color underneath, like that's coming through right here. Colorverse 2024 Blue Dragon. Very similar to Jacques Herbin, Emerald of Chivor, but the sheen and shimmer is more prominent. Diamine Garland, also very similar to Emerald of Chivor, a little bit of Season's Greetings, but it has shimmer on top of that sheen, and the sheen is a bit brighter. Diamine All the Best, a kind of deeper red with shimmer and gold sheen. Diamine Noel, in my opinion, a basic or middle red with some gold sheen. And then Vintage Copper does have a more rustic red with shimmer. So like I said, please let me know your top 5 choices, and then I will be able to really start planning out my December pen and ink combinations. And if you watch a lot of my videos and you have knowledge of my pen collection and you want to recommend or request a specific pen and ink combination, I would also love that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.